Vickie, that was a great, if a little bit intimidating look at our future. And the older I get, then the more I notice that every year the treadmill just gets a little bit faster, does it?
It does.
That was very interesting. Let me start with a couple of questions that I'll kind of combine into one and ask maybe Patty to chime in if she wants as well after your answer, Vickie. And this, the first one was kind of generic, and the second one was related but more specific. The first one's from Catherine, and she wants to know about the best ways to engage each segment to prevent resistance and to better market and position smart meters. And there maybe some of this will be covered in your next segment, and that's fine to wait. But Brigitte kind of added on with that by asking, how do we engage vulnerable populations to encourage them to use smart meters? So are either of those you could answer real quickly for us before we continue?
Yeah, well, I think we will get to answering some of those questions, in the next segment, and I think part of the answer lies in both my presentation and Patty's as well. And it all comes down to truly understanding and having insights into your customers. In most markets, there are going to be lots of differentiators, and how do you, at a macro level, look at your customers, and then how do you get down to a micro level to begin to understand that customer and what's going to drive them to engage.
I have another question from Vish at the Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory, and he was asking if there's any technology barriers preventing adoption of variable pricing, and I'll start with that. I think obviously there's still some standards that need to be worked out, and I'm as it turns out, an advisor on the advisory board of Pacific Northwest National Laboratory, and I think there's a real need for kind of a standard way to create a value signal that you can send up and down the network that your devices can respond to. And some of the best work that I've seen, of course I'm completely biased, but I think is at Pacific Northwest National Laboratory and their transactive, they call it transactive technology, that's being piloted at AEP in Ohio. So you might want to look into that and see if that provides some value. Vickie or Patty, either one, are you aware of any technical barriers to variable pricing?
No, I'm not aware of any technical barriers. And since I have the floor, I wanted to go back and answer Bridget's question about vulnerable populations. We did, let me see if I should say this past tense. We are in the process of releasing a study called Spotlight on Low-Income Consumers, where we did a similar research study to the one I just presented, only we focused specifically on low-income consumers. And we asked over 1,000 U.S. residential low-income consumers what their thoughts, needs, and preferences were. We asked them a lot of the same questions that I reviewed for you today for the general population to low-income, and we found some surprising results, including that they are also very interested in time of use and demand response programs. And we also understand quite a bit more now what they think about the smart grid, what their concerns are with the smart grid, what messages appeal to them. And they don't just want to save money. As with anyone who has best value, they care about green energy, or maybe they care about the environment, carbon emissions.
Right.
There's a lot of different things they care about too. So we are focusing on that and partnering also with non-traditional collaborators to work out this group.